Hey everybody, Brian Boyle here, and welcome to episode 123 of The Mesh Tongue. It is Wednesday, and having a great day so far. Just a low-key day, getting a lot done, a lot of productivity going on, and my parents made it into town yesterday, so that's always good. What's new on your end? What's good on your end? Hit me up, Brian, B-R-I-A-N, at company5k, the number 5k.com. I'll be happy to get back to you. Questions, could be running late, it could be anything, you know. But I'm open, as they say, to anything. So send me an email. Love to hear from you. And gets back to you, usually within 24 hours. So, hey, anybody see the update on Breaking 2? Nike's Breaking 2, not the 1884. The 1984 cult classic Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo with Shabadoo and Boogaloo Shrimps, where they were like, Not that Breaking 2. So Nike's Breaking 2, which might be a little bit of a copyright infringement, but who's going to fight Nike, especially from a 1984 cult classic movie? But they're Breaking 2. They're going to look to do it this weekend, 6th, the 7th, or the 8th. Now, if you were told you were going to run the fastest marathon of your life on either the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th, how pumped up would you be if it didn't happen on the 6th? I know I wouldn't be real pumped up. I'd be like, well, hell, I thought we were going to run on the 6th. They say, be ready. Be ready. It's an experiment. Be ready. If the weather's good on the 6th, we're going to run. But if not, we're going to run on the 7th. And if the weather's still not good, we're going to run on the 8th. So 72 hours of sitting around with pent-up energy, just kind of burning it off. I have no idea. I think it's going to fizzle out and burn. That just doesn't sound like anything that I would want to be a part of. Maybe I'm just not mentally as strong. Maybe they've got some Nike Jedi Knight tricks that they're going to do to these guys. I don't know. I just think it's going to be a fizzle and a flop, unfortunately. And I feel bad for these three runners, that the pressure that is building on them for the world, watching to see if if they're going to break this 2-hour this time barrier. I just don't even know how you would do that. So I'll be interested to see it. Be interested to see afterwards if somebody interviews, and that's the interview. So if anybody's out there and you're watching this and you interview, I want to see what it's like to interview somebody to say, hey, you know what, you're going to run your fastest on either the 6th, the 7th, or the 8th. We won't know until the day of, okay, what the weather looks like, and then we're going to go. If it happens on the 6th, I think they're going to be all right. Again, you know how to taper, so you go, okay, we'll taper down. If it happens on the 7th, on the 8th, absolutely. Mark my words, I'll be happy to eat them if I have to. But today is part 2 of the Piriformis, so that aside, I do like talking about electric, breaking number 2, Electric Boogaloo, so maybe we can talk about that in another episode. But besides that, we'll talk about the Piriformis part 2. Yesterday was part 1. If you will recall, I talked about 3 variations of the way the sciatic nerve sits in and or around the Piriformis muscle. 1 is that the piriformis muscle sits on top. 2 is that the piriformis muscle pierces through, the sciatic pierces through the piriformis. And 3 is that sciatic nerve sits on top of the piriformis. If you fall into that variation where you have the nerve either piercing through the muscle or it sits on top of the muscle, that's going to change these exercises completely. You probably want to disregard these exercises because we'll have to work on building up either the glute maximus, so through bridging and some other hip extension exercises, not necessarily focusing on as much the stretching, although going through. So I think there's probably maybe about a 10% of the population you can disregard this because it's just not going to work. You'll try it and you'll be like, dude, this is hurting me even more. That's usually the person who has the piriformis underneath the sciatic nerve. Anytime you put any pressure on there, you'll be dying. You'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm dying. It just doesn't work. And that's the time you go, all right, I need to go get seen by the doctor. Other than that, we're going to show you a couple exercises here today, primarily stretching. You can work on some of the exercises that I've shown you in the past, like episode 40 shows you some hip flexor stuff. I show you some leg extension squares. I show you some hip abduction and some bridging. Those can be of benefit to the piriformis, but we got to stretch this area out first. So without further ado, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a way to relax the low back. So when you tighten up the piriformis, if you don't have the low back stretched, the low back will start to tighten up as well. It's just typically how it goes. So the small muscle in the low back, quadratus lumborum, okay, that muscle that sits right here kind of hikes the hip, okay, it attaches to the spine and then over to the pelvis. That muscle tightens up 9 times out of 10 when the piriformis also gets tight, and usually because what ends up happening is you start shifting the pelvis, okay, and so you'll shift off the weight to get off the piriformis, and that muscle gets tight. So first things first, I want to show you how to alleviate that. So what I do is I grab myself my bed. I'm going to show you for purposes of the fact that I've got a step stool or a kind of a sitting stool here. What you're going to do is you're going to get onto your bed or couch or whatever, okay, and you're going to prop your knee up on some pillows. It could be other sofa cushions, it could be whatever. If you have a small stool like this or an ottoman or something you want to drag over, great. And then you're just going to kind of take the knee to the point where you feel like everything is relaxed in the low back. Okay, so it almost looks like a figure 4. We've got the leg abducted and externally rotated. All right, so if you were looking down on this thing, it almost looks like somebody's flamingo standing. The leg is relaxing, my low back is relaxing. I can sit here for 5-10 minutes and just calm down, let the back relax. But I don't have 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And you wouldn't want to just see me just sitting there relaxing. So we won't do it. We won't do it. All right. Got a little crazy there, brought this up too far, okay? Next one we're gonna do is up on your back. I like putting this up, and I've shown you this one before, okay? So if it is my right hip, okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bring the left leg up, okay, like this, put the right foot on top of it and then pull back. I like to put my left foot on the wall instead, so I would sit down, okay? I would sit down in front of a door frame and put my foot up against the wall. That way I can just relax like this. That will stretch the heck out of that outside of the muscles in the hip. Next one I'm going to show you is a crossover leg stretch. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put, if it's the right leg, so again, think opposite if it's the left leg. So right leg, you're going to put the left leg in front, right leg behind. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lean forward now and put my rear end back and stretch. And you should feel this kind of coming all through here. Okay, this is hitting just a little bit of the hamstring. It's going to hit into the tensor fasciae latae. It's going to hit into the piriformis muscle. All right, so we're going to stretch the lats into the low back. So we stretch through here. You should feel that stretch on the outside. Okay, hold that again 30 seconds to a minute. So you want to hold these stretches 30 seconds to a minute. There's nothing wrong with that. Let me grab a ball. Now, the 30 seconds to a minute, I'm back. Sorry about that. I didn't just want to show you my messy office. You would hold those 30 seconds to a minute. I like to repeat those consistently, daily. Okay, so minute at a time. If it is a rotation of the pelvis, I can always show you. I've had people email me in. I've sent just videos. They're really tough to do because anytime you start talking about the SI joint and the rotation of the pelvis, it really is specific to the individual. So I could show you some things, but I don't want to necessarily do that. So if you have any questions, I've had other people in the past say, hey, what do I need to do? I've set those people up with some videos that were personalized for them. It takes me all about 2 minutes to ship you off the video, and away we go. I would go grab a lacrosse ball, okay, because they're a little bit firmer than a racket ball. But what you can do is you can kind of racket ball or sit on the lacrosse ball. Again, what you do is just bring the knee up. So I've got the ball right underneath my hip, okay, and I'm sitting on this thing. And again, just to try and release the trigger point in that piriformis. If you have a piriformis that sits underneath your sciatic nerve, this is going to set you off. So be really careful. You'll find out pretty soon. Putting the pressure of a ball on the sciatic nerve, not a whole heck of a lot of fun. If it's underneath, no big deal. You'll know. You'll feel better. The cross ball is a little bit bigger and a little bit more firm. The racket ball can be fine, but it'll compress a little bit more. So depending on how big you are, it'll work fine for a smaller frame person. The cross ball is going to work better for a larger frame person. Now, a lot of people will tell you foam roll. I'm hit or miss on foam rolls, okay? And here's the reason why. I think there's too many people that spend a lot of time on foam rolls, and unless you're a sadist, Okay, most people feel more pain from the foam rolling than they do that if they just went and got some body work or had somebody just really work on all those tissues and just get them out to begin with all the trigger points and stuff like that. I think you'd be better off than maintaining with the stretching program and strengthening program than spending countless hours trying to foam roll. That's just my personal opinion. I know there's some other folks that feel the same way. That's why I feel comfortable in saying that. There are some people that say the opposite way. Okay, and they say, hey, foam roll is the way to go. You got to do it. If it works for you, great. If it's not working for you, you need to reconsider the options and figure out what's going on. So if you've been foam rolling and you're not seeing results, don't keep doing the same thing. It's not going to help. Okay, don't think that you're going to stop short, that you're like you're a quitter and that you stop short. Okay, find something else to do. Take the same amount of time. Okay, so sometimes it's a ball that you kind of at least get into that trigger point, go from there. You can use heat, ice, depending on how you're feeling. Don't be afraid to use either, depending on what you like. If you feel better with heat, use it. If you feel better with ice, use it. Simple as that. Folks, this is part 2 of the Piriformis, 123. It's Wednesday. And we'll be back again tomorrow. Any questions, comments, send those to me, Brian, BRIAN at company5k.com. Share this with your friends, your family, your training partners if you find some value. I appreciate that. Whatever you do, don't go hurting yourself to come back. I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Have a great day.